Hey guys, before I get this podcast started, which is a bonus podcast, no one officially funded it or anything. I just got packages in the mail that are from my Amazon wish list. And as a thank you to you guys, I just push out a podcast of any quality level. Uh, just say thanks for getting gifts for myself and my family. Some are Pokemon cards, which aren't for me, and other things are on the wish list, which aren't for me. But, if you get me a gift, you get a podcast. So I'm assuming they're from Alicia. So I'm going to say thank Alicia, but we'll see what they're from later in this video. But first off, I looked at a video that popped up in my TikTok feed of Hair Jordan and his ex-wife. And he said that he had an ex-wife but didn't specify her name. She popped up and said it was about her. And I just wanted to say to both those people, I think it's remarkable that both of you are able to still look as young as you seem to be in your videos, because I don't have the motivation, the drive, the tolerance to put on makeup. I don't have that in me. Like same with like Social Repose, right? Social Repose somehow doesn't lose his mind putting on makeup. And I respect the drive. Like I respect that these people have it in them to put on makeup, to have a certain presentation and so forth. Some people would say that the look has never evolved, that they've looked the same forever. Um, and that's probably a marketing thing, like, or maybe that's their true personalities. I don't know. But the idea that they've been able to maintain their looks, Social Repose, Hair Jordan, his ex-wife, who's also a media influencer, that's really impressive and it deserves some kind of acknowledgement. I, however, uh, I'm not wearing makeup. I'm wearing sunscreen, but I'm not wearing makeup. I have to wear sunscreen because of the skin cancer. I don't know if you guys have like highlighted how bad my skin cancer scar is, but at some angles I look like, anyway. So, like you may think, okay, if I put on makeup every day and made myself look like James Charles or something like that, oh, hey, sisters, or whatever, however James Charles talks, I might get more views. I might get more people liking my videos and so forth because I have this aesthetic. And the argument that, oh, well, you have a history of controversy or whatever, shut up. These other people have controversies, true. Believe me. Um, so it's not like exclusively controversies or anything that would prevent a person from being successful. Um, Outside of monetization, that's a real problem. But as far as actual views, you could potentially get views despite being controversial. Look at what's that guy's name? The guy who's like a meathead and he's like bald and he always talks about what a man he is. He's a big tough guy. I don't know. I don't even remember his name. Oh, Andrew Tate, right? That's his name? Or is that a serial killer name? I don't know. Anyway, so you can be, successful despite certain cancellations. The problem with certain cancellations is that they deprive you. Like if you are a honest and considerate, empathetic, whatever person, you do videos and so forth for different reasons, right? You may, for like me, it was one of my reasons to live. So like I had this really strong bond with my audience and I really appreciated them and they were keeping me going so I wouldn't put a gun in my mouth and blow my brains out, that kind of thing, right? uh but when I lost that, it was kind of like a divorce or a breakup. It's like people like Andrew Tate and stuff, they make videos because they're in love with themselves. I would assume Andrew Tate is in love with himself. I mean, he seems to have that persona. Other people, they do it because they genuinely love you guys, right? And so when you betray them or when you make them feel like they've been wronged by you, they're like, well, why would I make videos to entertain those people? You know? There's like the framing or cancellation or rumor spreading, whatever you want to call it, where you cancel someone who's in love with themselves so you can never stop them, right? Because they'll always love themselves. And so they're just going to throw themselves in your guys' faces, love them or not, they're there, right? And then there's the other people who are genuinely heartbroken and you generally broke them. Like you generally destroyed the relationship you had with them through those videos because you turned on them in a way that wasn't justified. And those are the other people that you see. You see it happen a lot. There's a lot of people who just straight up disappear for a while or disappear forever. You know what I mean? Anyway, but enough on that. What I wanted to talk about today was polyamory. Okay. I saw a TikTok video where someone or a number of comedians were crapping on polyamory, and it really showed that they have no idea what polyamory even is. One of these guys, they said, why don't you just masturbate? That's to not understand what a goddamn relationship is, let alone polyamory. Like, can you imagine telling, like, you guys understand that some people are into men and they are men, right? Can you imagine, like, saying to a gay guy who's in a straight marriage and wants to leave his marriage that he should just masturbate? Like, that's crazy. That's wild. Because you're not gay just for the sex. More often than not, you're gay because you actually you find attributes in the same gender that the opposite gender doesn't have. And so you want to not just have sex occasionally or however often, but it's more than that. You want to have a whole ass relationship with that person, right? And it was like such a low IQ moment for these comedians to be talking about it as if it was just a sex thing. And I don't understand people who are just about sex, right? Because you have something that is fleeting and lasts for anywhere from 3 minutes to an hour and a half. I would say that's my range, 3 minutes to an hour and a half. And did I reveal too much? But like for a lot of people, that seems to be the whole reason they get married and the whole reason they have relationships in general is because they just want sex. If you are ever with someone like that, it's probably a huge red flag and you should probably get the fuck out because clearly they only care about themselves, if that's the thing. Other people get into relationships because they want to see someone else succeed in life. They want to see someone else be happy. They want to see someone else build a life and to contribute to that life that they're building, right? They want to live for something other than just getting off, right? So when you talk about polyamory, it's just like society in general, as it is, seems to be like wholly misinformed about what polyamory is and even what monogamy is. You guys look at relationships with such a like missing the point entirely way. Like you look at these things as if you're almost brain dead. Like you just don't register the point of why anyone has relationships about. Like you see what I'm saying, right? These guys, these comedians who I mean, I've seen a couple stand-ups from one of the guys who was involved in the conversation. He seems pretty smart. He told his audience how to have sex with a woman properly for some reason, even though I don't know if the guy realizes that he's hideous. But he's like he like reminds me of like seventh grade science teacher. Like that's that's this guy. And he's like he's talking about how he's having sex with his girlfriends. It's just like, dude, you're not it. You're wearing glasses, you have short buzzed haircut. You look like a meth head. Like, I don't understand why you're giving people sex advice when it looks like you don't even have sex. That's weird to me yourself. It's like watching a fat person come in and give you health advice. It's just like, you don't look like you have health. So why are you telling everyone out? Like, maybe it's compensating or whatever. Anyway, this guy's talking about polyamory as if he's ever been in a polyamorous relationship. He's talking about it as if he knows what's up. And he's like, I don't get why these guys don't just jack off. They don't just jack off because some people view a relationship with three people as more than sex. I don't think you guys understand how complicated polyamory sex is. For the top, it's exhausting. Absolutely exhausting. Because you have to keep two bottoms satisfied at the same time. That's not something that you like say, God, I'd really love to fucking do that all the time. There has to be more than that because the sex isn't what you're fighting for. What you're fighting for is a meaningful relationship with two people who also love each other. If we talk about something like open marriages or open relationships, anyone watching this in an open relationship, from my logic point of view, there's a chance that your relationship is a soft exit. Some of you know what that means, some of you don't. So I'll explain a little bit deeper. If you're with a guy and he says, "Oh, I want to have a girlfriend on top of this relationship." First of all, kudos to him for not just cheating on you, because he could have just fucking cheated on you. He could have just gone behind your back and had sex with someone else. At least the devil told you who he was. So at least, I mean, that's why they say stick with the devil instead of going to fucking randos. Like a lot of women, their boyfriend will yell at them or something. And so they're like, I'm not going to put up with this. I'm leaving him. And then they leave him and then they go get beat nearly to death in their next relationship. Humans are imperfect. Humans are flawed. Humans are not my ideal choice to have access to the rest of the universe because we are fucked up, right? But if you have a boyfriend that just yells at you, you might want to ask yourself if the average guy is worse than that or better than that. What are your odds? Like think about my relationship history. I left one of my ex-girlfriends because she got pregnant with another man's baby while I was sending her money to live in Canada. Okay. And then she wound up doing a whole documentary about how I'm bad, even though I dumped her for literally getting pregnant with another man's baby while taking money from me and dating me as if everything was. She literally went to the Money Mart and picked it up with him in the car. Thousands of dollars. Like, that's fraud, bro. While being pregnant with his baby. Like, I don't know how you get more fucked up than that. Okay. But that's what I leave people for. Right. And there's another person who I dumped because I was extorted into even being involved with them. And she said twice that she was sorry for raping me. And later on, she said it was a joke, but it wasn't a ha-ha moment. It was like a real serious moment. Because, if you tell someone, hey, I'm going to get you fired, or I'm going to create a situation in which you're fired from this job, or I could do it unless you have sex with me, then that's rape. That's rape. Ask any AI. That's fucking rape. Look it up, the definition of rape involving threats and all that. It's rape, right? So she apologized for what she did after I explained it to her when I dumped her, okay? That's something else I'll dump someone for. I will dump people for criminal activity or for what that other person did, etc., right? Anyway, let's go full circle. So, polyamory and relationships in general, there's something worth fighting for, is my point. And I don't want to leave relationships over someone yelling at me. I don't want to leave relationships over something where there's no crime and I'm not being extorted, or it's not a horrible situation. It's just shitty. People have shitty moments. I had a friend call me once, and her husband, she was having problems with her husband. And I'm not like, this is a beautiful woman, right? And I would love to have this person as a third. That would be amazing. She's fucking gorgeous. And she's a great, nice personality. But her husband was being, shitty. And despite having all the incentive in the world to tell her, hey, just run away with me, like come date myself and my spouse, I didn't say that. What I did say was, is he shitty most of the time? I said, is he shitty most of the time? And she's like, no, most of the time he's great. Okay. So the parts of the times where he's shitty, you should probably go talk to a therapist about, right? That was some real self-sacrificing advice from a genuine friend. Okay. Someone who would love to fuck you. Oh my God. I would love to fuck my friend. She's beautiful. But I'm not going to give her bad advice. Okay. So if that means I don't ever get to have sex with her and have a relationship with her or whatever, oh well. I would rather her be happy in a stable relationship than for me to get to be in a relationship with this person and my spouse at the same time. And that brings us to the point, right? You want to see your spouse happy, but you have to work, right? You have to go to work. Okay. And maybe your spouse has to work too. And there are so many tasks in life that are shitty, right? Someone has to mow the yard. Someone has to wash the dishes. Someone has to do the laundry. There's all these things. As far as also raising a family too, that's a consideration, right? People get nannies and they ask their in-laws or their immediate family to come help out. They help out each other, yada, yada. And yet people look at polyamory as if it's some kind of fucking alien disturbing thing. It's not. This is what polyamory is. It's three people being able to live together, to be in love with one another, to build a life together, and to grow old together, just like monogamy. Okay? So, why is this whittled down to why don't you just masturbate? You know, there's actually a legal theory out there that I'm the type of person to just fly people up and supposedly do sex things. Supposedly. But the record shows I'm the type of person to fly people up and make collab videos with them and not fuck them. It's frustrating because there's so much more to like even if I like flew someone up and a relationship started to develop. Like there was this one woman who was working on my intros for videos and she hung out with us for a while and then she started making moves at me and I told my spouse and my spouse and I agreed that she should leave. Okay, she was like in her mid 20s. But we were hugging and she started grinding on my lap. Personally, that's an awesome situation for most any guy. But as an honest person, that's a red flag. Okay. Just because, like, if I have this beautiful grown woman grinding on my lap, that's fucking awesome. Right. But also, I'm married. I haven't cleared it with my spouse. This is an inappropriate situation because it wasn't sanctioned by anybody. Right. It was just like it's a secretive thing. Right. So you got to be honest and you got to be transparent. And that's what I'm talking about. Like flying people up and just fucking them is crazy. And that's not something that I historically am into. So that's the assumption, though, of the masses that people who are polyamorous or people who are just generally, anyone, that their number one ambition is just to fuck people and discard them. That's a horrendous, disgusting thing. I completely agree that if you look at people as sex dolls, then yes, you're better off masturbating. But polyamory, monogamy, all of these things, they are not about ejaculating and walking away. And I'll close this video, on opening these things here. But I do want to say that it is pretty fucking heinous how a lot of guys are. And I think that women, they're biologically developed to not be as shitty as guys as far as relationships goes. Like I think women hit it and don't quit it more than men hit it and quit it. Evidence of that is in lesbianism. A lot of lesbians like moving in with each other right as they start the relationship. That's the evidence. And if you look at gay men, boy, do they like to fuck. Like fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. I've had gay men hit on me repeatedly and they very clearly just want to hit me and quit me. Okay. So with that being said, when people, they have sex with women, a lot of men are like, why are you still here? And again, maybe that's because I was raised by women, but that's fucking heinous again. You don't just have sex with, like, sex is in relationships, sex is like the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th goal. It's not the first goal. The first goal is getting along with them, right? The second goal is your lives mutually being enhanced because of each other's interactions. I'm detecting someone trying to build a relationship with someone or someone just being friends with someone, whatever. And that's what's so weird about society is we project the perversions that we think are possible. Do you understand that? We project the perversions that we think are possible. That's why so many people say, "Oh, you're only talking to that guy because you want to fuck him," right? That's their assumption, and it comes from themselves. A lot of times, it comes with their own experiences, their own observations, and maybe even their own urges in some contexts. So that's why they say every accusation is a confession. That's not true all the time, but a lot of times patterns are developed, and you start to realize, holy shit, this person is just confessing to shit. So, like, if someone comes up to you and says, you want to fuck your brother-in-law, you might want to ask, what is that person in the position of? Or like, how about all those extremely ugly fat people who see pedophilia everywhere? They say, oh, that person's a pedophile. And you're like, I think we need to look into you, actually, because that's a really weird thing for you to bring into the room when no one asked. If someone went around saying that everybody, like, is sexually attracted to Elmo, Elmo from Sesame Street, they're like, you're probably sexually attracted to Elmo. No one said that. That would be so fucking weird that you would think that they are themselves sexually attracted to Elmo. And that's something that you see a lot. There's Freudian slips, which a lot of times are just accidents, but sometimes can help reveal something. And there's just generally people bringing shit up that no one addressed. Like this, a long time ago, I made a joke about a chick banging her pet. I made a joke about a person banging her pet. It was a joke. You know how Shane Dawson made a joke about him banging his cat? It wasn't so different than that. But the problem is that once I said the joke, that was it for me. Ha ha ha, let's move on. She dragged that out for years. Now, what does that tell you? When you make a joke that is so obviously a joke, like not even remotely something that you would think was possible because it's so heinous and gross, and that person won't stop talking about how you accuse them of this thing, despite the fact that there's no reason for them to still bring it up. They're not going to jail. They're not fighting implications. No one's really even bringing it up but them. Like, it's a dead issue, right? If you go on Twitter, you don't see people going, so-and-so sleeps with their pets. Nobody's talking about it. But for some reason, they internally have it as so offensive and disturbing to themselves. And I can't stress this enough. There's not a video about it. There's not a comment about it. There's nothing. But they keep going on and on about it. It's totally different if people are making videos saying it. Totally different if people are making comments about it. Whatever, because that keeps the issue fresh in their mind. Point is, I made a fucking joke about this person doing their pet, and they brought it all the way to live interviews. Like literally discussing it in live interviews. Oh, I hate this guy because he joked about me doing such and such with my pet. And at that point, I'm just saying this is such a weird thing for someone to be defensive about, because it's not like a common accusation. Like nobody said, hey, you beat your wife. Okay. If you are upset because someone said you beat your wife 4 years ago, that is a very problematic claim to have out there. And you might be pissed off about it for a while. But if someone says you slept with your pet, it was a fucking joke, bro. And it's so weird. It's kind of like when you make fun of someone for being a furry or whatever. I'm just saying we all felt that was really weird because none of us saw anyone mention it until they would start getting salty about it. And we were just like, man, do you just want to come out as a furry or what is this? It's like if you call the guy gay and he goes on and on about not being gay. It's like at some point you're like, do you just want to come out as gay? Is that what this is about? Like you're dealing with some kind of real hang up about it. Because if that person just dropped the issue, it would go away. No one would ever talk about it. There would be no consequences, no nothing. All they have to do is walk the fuck away. It's not like they got fired from a job over it. It's not like they were got their YouTube channel banned over it. There's no fucking reason. So that's what I'm saying. Anyway. Yeah. So I think it's time. When you see people, especially fat, ugly people, who are going around throwing accusations, I feel like those people are just projecting their own perversions. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody is like, you probably want to fuck Lindsay Lohan. It's like, are you sure it's about me? Because it seems like you're fat and ugly and you don't have sex with anyone. You're probably pretty horny and frustrated that no one will fuck you. And so now you're going around saying everyone wants to fuck the 30-something-year-old or maybe 40-something-year-old Lindsay Lohan. I think you want to fuck Lindsay Lohan. I'm just saying that's what it appears to be. And that's what a lot of the internet seems to be, is like people acting angry over shit that's not real or shit that's inside their head that they are projecting onto others. You're probably gay. Well, are you thinking about sucking cocks right now, buddy? Because that came out of nowhere. I also see it a lot in the comments. Like people just saying shit like, ha ha ha, no one watches your videos. You're such a loser. And then you could say, okay, how many views do you get? Like the pain, it just shares itself with everyone else. Your suffering is just contagious. Like literally think about how someone would say you're a fucking loser because you have no subscribers, right? Or you're a fucking loser because no one cares about you or whatever. That is one of the most bold and transparent confessions. You rarely see people who are doing extremely well going around saying, oh, look what a fucking loser this person is in their comment section. The people in the comment section talking shit probably have nothing going for them. And they're dealing with the fact that they're such a fucking loser by calling other people losers. Evidence to this point. You know the dads that come home from work and they beat their wives, they beat their kids, or they discourage their kids, say you'll never make it big in the music industry, or they just fucking are terrible and toxic. Those people hate their lives. They fucking think that they themselves are quitters, losers themselves, and so they try to make everyone else share their misery. They try to put down everyone else to lift themselves up. This is a lot of what I'm saying is just scientific, social, educational shit. Like, it's just observable and provable. But enough of that. This has been a long enough podcast. Let's open these gifts. First off, on my Amazon wish list, we got... Yeah, it's a good game. I knew this was coming because the person, Alicia, I think it was Alicia, right? Thank you. It's Alicia. She said I said her name right, and that was shocking, but I just said it how it was spelled, Alicia. I don't know what the deal is with people and how they can't fucking read, but like, it's like when people say Onision, you know, they say Onision, and I'm like, yeah, but Oni means demon, so that's Oni. Everyone knows that, right? Oni, demon. And then the rest is Scion, you know, like Zion, community. So you could say it's demon community, but Oni also means one. So you could say it's one divine community, whatever you want. I just put a bunch of random characters in a keyboard, and I like that one the most out of the whole list I made. So it doesn't actually mean anything, but O-N-I, Oni. Sion, S-I-O-N. A lot of people go, Onision? And I'm like, that's how you know someone isn't a fan. Because I spell it out. I sound it out and I spell it out at the end of every other fucking comedy sketch. O-Ni-Si-On. Stop being a fake motherfucker and actually watch my videos. Anyway, that's Hollywood. But yeah, this game, great. Awesome. Thank you for getting it for me. I look forward to... Holy shit, they have the Joker? They have the Joker. And the last gift... I mean, I did get another one, but my daughter, it was for my daughter. And my spouse insisted that, or told my daughter, and my daughter wanted to open it right away and play it right away. It was a princess game for the Nintendo Switch. So thank you for that one, too. And the last gift you got me, we got to put it on, right? It's this. So I'll remove, I guess I don't have to get totally naked. So we'll just do this. And I will show you guys exactly how it looks. By the way, I kind of like that these podcasts feel like I'm just talking to you, you know, rather than agenda-driven, like, oh, I hate such and you should hate them too. So here's my evidence for why we should fucking hate someone together. It feels a lot better just having a casual talk, in the sense that I will get zero attention for this. Everyone will unsubscribe. And my lack in marketing discipline will seal my end. All right, this is the shirt. I will stand up, and I will show you. So, it looks like it fits pretty well. Yes? I like affliction clothes because they aren't for fatties. And for anybody who is upset about me saying stuff about fat people, I want you to take this out of it. Being fat is 99 out of 100 times probably. We'll just say 9 out of 10, give you guys a break. 9 out of 10 times, it's fucking your fault, okay? Yes, your horrible parents may have conditioned you when you were younger to get fat by feeding you garbage, and you have some kind of bullshit nostalgia about your childhood and eating all these shit foods, these cancerous, murderous foods, suicidal foods. But, I mean, if I sugarcoat something, you'll just fucking eat it. So I'm not going to do that. Okay? You're fat, most likely, and ugly, most likely, because you did this to yourself. You have control about what goes in your fucking fat mouth. Okay? I was 190 pounds Do you understand that? That's basically fat. I didn't realize I was getting 190 pounds. My mom at some point said my face was getting fat, and I threw a whole fucking. I was like, I threw a whole pity party for myself, like you probably are right now, where I was acting like my mom was so bad for calling me fat. But at some point, I stepped on the scale and I said, holy shit, I'm fucking fat. And you know what I immediately did? I stopped stuffing my fat fucking face. I'm 40 years old. That whenever you see someone say they're gaining weight because they're older, maybe their metabolism is more shitty. Maybe they got to restrict their eating if they don't want to get fat, but that is the solution. When you grow up, you have to grow up in what you eat too. You can't just stuff your face with children's food anymore. You have to be a fucking adult. But there is an exception to this rule. I stopped eating at 5 p.m. Like once the clock strikes 5, I generally don't eat anything after that. And as a result of that, I lost over 20 fucking pounds. I wake up in the morning, I eat whatever I want until 5 p.m. And then I lose all that weight. So you could be a fat, ugly fucking idiot and just go, oh, this Onision guy is so mean. And how could he say these things? And you could just feel sorry for yourself and go stuff your dumb fucking fat face some more and be even uglier. Or you could take some fucking responsibility and accountability for yourself and you could eat at a more responsible way. Don't copy me, okay? Because if you copy me, I don't know what's going to happen to you. It worked for me, but it might not work for you. So you need to talk to a doctor. But whatever the doctor says for you, your fat fucking ugly ass to do it. Follow your doctor's advice, assuming that doctor is competent, okay? Don't go around blaming everyone else because you're a fat, ugly piece of shit who doesn't want to do anything to make yourself look better. I'll say it again. I don't sugarcoat shit because you, the fat fuck, will fucking eat it. So I have to give it to you straight, okay? It's fucking crazy. It's crazy that, like, everywhere else in the world, people are in shape pretty much. You do realize that, right, Americans? People in fucking Scandinavia, people in Norway, people in fucking Iceland. You don't see 300, 400-pound fat pieces of shit there. It's us. It's an us problem. It's a choice for most people. Anyway, and it sucks. I feel for you. If I had parents that fed me shit when I was a kid, I would be raging pissed. I would be a victim like you probably are of your parents. But for some reason, we live in a country that will not illegalize force feeding your children shit because you say it's like freedom or some bullshit. Freedom to give your kids diabetes. How is that allowed? I have no fucking clue. But the point is that you're in control now. So what are you going to do about it? Fix yourself, man. I did it. I lost. You know how fucking easy it was? After 5 o'clock, I was like, oh shit, I'm fucking hungry. This is torture. And you know what? I still do that. But you know what I also do? I man the fuck up. I say, this is pain. Life is pain. This is just the way it is. I'm going to have a badass body in no time. And you know what? My OnlyFans says I look pretty fucking good. My body is pretty fucking solid. Now, I'm in the best shape I've been in a very long time because I fucking starved myself after 5. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm telling you to talk to your doctor. That's what I'm telling you to do, okay? It's called intermittent fasting. Look it up. Instead of looking at me like the villain, look at me as the person who's actually trying to help you by telling you, go to your doctor, get advice, and whatever the advice of your doctor is, so long as it's healthy, follow that advice. Okay. Thank you for funding this video to Alicia. Thank you for the shirt. We confirmed it fits because I am not fat and I could shop at Buckle. I used to be able to shop at Buckle. Now I'm a little poor, but I used to be able to shop at Buckle and fit the clothes. I was a little bit fatter then, less fat now. So I look better in these clothes than I ever have before. I have more things like that on my wish list. So if you guys want to see me try more shit, you can check it out on my Amazon wish list. Thank you for watching. This whole video has been funded because someone sent me fucking gifts from my wish list. Okay, that's all it takes. I'm not an expensive whore. I'm a cheap whore. All right. Boob squeeze.